That guitar sounds real sweet. And it's not just any guitar, it's a Contriver guitar, and that's where we are in East Hamilton, and we're here with Brett Bailey, owner, founder, really doing it all here at Contriver Guitars. Thanks for doing this. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in custom building guitars.
Yeah, so I'm Brett Bailey. I'm known as what is a luthier. I got involved in guitar building back when I was 18, 19. I knew I wanted to work in the music industry. I knew playing was going to be a really hard way of doing so. So setting up, repairing guitars was the path that I originally wanted to take. It has now snowballed into full building.
Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah, I like you went. So a luthier is somebody who builds guitars, repairs guitars. You actually went to school for that too.
Yes. So I went to school at the Canadian School of Luthery in 2015. Mm-hmm. They're no longer around, which is unfortunate. Yeah. There are a lot of schools around in the States, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Which are very, very highly accredited.
Yeah. Well, clearly you're doing something right here. You've sold a couple dozen now. Like you've been doing this for how long?
For about 10 years in the full design, getting this built up, and then building and selling for the last 5.
Yeah, okay. We're going to kind of get a sneak peek on how the different stages of things as we hang out here throughout the morning. But tell me about your very first guitar that you ever got.
The very first guitar that I ever...
That inspired you to kind of want to be involved with music in the first place.
Yeah, so when not the very first guitar I got, but the most special guitar to me was a Gibson Les Paul. When I was 13, my father brought it home one day and surprised me with it. And I knew that that feeling is something that I would like to pass on to other people.
Yeah. And what is that feeling like when you get to hand over a guitar, especially one that you've built with your own hands?
It's hard to describe. It's it's just happy all around. Everybody's in a good mood.
Yeah, yeah. It's like giving away one of your children, though. The amount of time that you spend on it and all that stuff, letting it out the door. Okay, we're gonna go through some of the processes when it comes to building a guitar. You got this cool device here that you've actually built yourself. I want to ask about the painting and stuff, but we're gonna be hanging out here all morning, so you're gonna give us the lay of the land because we're continuing here at Contriver Guitars. We're in East Hamilton. We're learning about the process of building guitars with Brett Bailey, and we're continuing all morning live here on CHCH Morning Live. We are back here with Brett Bailey at Contriver Guitars and basically finding out how he builds guitars from the very first step to the finished product. And we're hearing some of the finished product in the background. Who do we got over there?
You got Ben Moore from the band APOC.
Yeah. And he's rocking a Contriver guitar.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're going to find out about the wood and the next steps. But the very first step, hey, listen, I call you up. Brett, I need a guitar. What's the first step that you're going to take me through?
The first thing I'm going to want to know is what tuning you're playing in. So if you're dropping the tuning below standard to say C, I'm going to change the scale length on you.
Okay.
We're going to want a longer guitar so that we can use a thinner string for the lower notes. Yeah. That'll produce a clearer sound.
Yeah. That concentration, like you are, like it's really in depth because you got to be with every little detail that you're putting into this guitar. You need to know every little thing, every single note that these guitars are going to play, right?
Yep. And I count all the way down to the 0.5 thousandths of an inch.
Okay.
So we're splitting hairs here to the point like the necks come off the machine. We are right in spec, maybe 4 thou away. This is a couple of swipes of paper away.
Yeah. But that's going to make that much of a difference, right? When you're talking about it.
Like the humidity alone in the room will have that number fluctuate, but I want to get it as bang on as possible.
Mm-hmm. What other questions are you asking in that consultation?
So we're talking about what kind of wood you're looking at, what kind of tone you're after, how many strings you want, and finish.
Yeah. And that's where you go. So we had Keith here on the computer. Like everything you got here, you got different notes on just about everything. What's the process for you now designing it in this program?
So I have everything almost dialed into where I want it. My changes nowadays kind of fluctuate 10th thou here and there. It's very small. But it all starts out in the fretboard geometry. So this is where we're accounting for scale length, how far the string is sitting off or on the fretboard away from the edge of it, all the way down to like the string gauges itself.
Were you always a big math guy?
I was not until I found a way to apply it.
Yeah. which is usually the way it goes, right?
Yeah.
In math for me, I had zero interest in math in school. So I'm looking at your designs, and it really is, really when you have these personal goals, what you find interesting completely changes real quick, right? Yeah. Okay. So that's the first step. Now when we come back, we're actually gonna look at the stages of a guitar, from the very first piece of wood to the finished product, because we're learning all about guitar making with Brett Bailey and Contriver Guitars here in Hamilton, and we're continuing here this morning on Morning Live. Somehow, amazingly, Brett Bailey is going to turn that giant piece of wood into a guitar, and we are back here with Brett at Contriver Guitars in Hamilton. We're learning the process because he's been making them for about 5 years now.
5-10 years.
5-10, yeah, for a while now. And if you're looking for a guitar, this is the guy you want to call, contriverguitars.com?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right, but you got to explain to me how that giant piece of wood we just saw turns into a guitar. What are you looking at?
So that I would break down with a circular saw into manageable sized chunks, guitar sized chunks, and then it would go on to being split at the bandsaw. What we're looking at here is about 30 guitars worth of tops. It's a lot, but we'll go through it.
What about that piece of wood got your attention that you thought, that's the piece I need?
So I've seen a lot of Mappa burl, poplar burl. It's very hit and miss. This particular piece, as soon as I walked in the room, I knew I was taking it. Just look at it. I mean, there's nothing plain about it.
Love at first sight on that. Okay, so explain to me, you mentioned the circular saw, the bandsaw. So how does that become this that we're looking at here?
So that would be split on the bandsaw. I would run it through like that. And then once it's cleaned up, we have a book match, so a mirror image of either side.
Yeah. So that's going to be part of the design? You're going to paint over that? Like how does that incorporate, like you said, that wood, that color?
So this would be the front of the guitar, the headstock, both front and back. This would be glued to the body, and then after sanding, it would be dyed and then sprayed. Okay. We're going to check out some of the dyeing in a bit. So tell me how we got from here to here. What's this that we're looking at now? So this is Macassar ebony. Mm-hmm. So similar process. It gets sliced and then opened up like a book, glued together, and then glued onto the body. Okay. And this thing that it's on top of, what is this? This is a Brett Bailey original, Bailey instrumental. What is this here? So that is a tool for gluing tops together, and acoustic backs together. I developed this while I was working at F-Bass. During my time there, I had the opportunity to glue together around, I don't know, I'd say like 200 tops. And messing around with clamps, it was always finicky, and I knew there was a better way. Yeah. I started looking for solutions online. After deriving from other solutions, I came up with this. Yeah. So this, you said this is for gluing the top. So this would be gluing this part to the part that thicker part that we saw earlier, right? Nope, this is just gluing it edge to edge. Oh, just edge to edge. Just edge to edge. And that's why these are adjustable. You can move them in, move them out. Yeah. Okay, cool. So again, how are we going to get to here? What process do we get there? So just going to throw this in here and get it glued up. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, no problem. So it's just, you got the glue, the good stuff there. All right, so we are learning how a guitar is made. I'm learning everything very quickly, but we're gonna come back, and when we come back, we're gonna get through the other processes, and we're gonna get some dye as well. We're gonna find out how the guitar gets its color, but we're continuing here at Contriver Guitars, Brett Bailey on CHCH Morning Live. All right, we are back here at Contriver Guitars, and we've been learning about the process of getting a guitar built, which Brett Bailey can do for you. He's made dozens for customers, and you could be one of them. We'll find out all the details on where you can find it, but what are we doing here now, Brett? So we have to turn this plain maple into this colored maple. And this is going to be the color of the guitar, right? That's going to be, is that the top? Like, what am I looking at here? This will be the top of the guitar, the headstock, and the back of the headstock. All right, so how do we get from that to that? So it goes through quite a bit of process. The first thing I do is I'll dye it black. Mm-hmm. this will sit for 24 hours, and then I'll sand it all back. What I'm trying to do there is accent the flame. So what that is, it's actually end grain that's moving through the wood like this. So I'm filling that with black, sanding it off, mostly off the rest of it.
Yeah.
From there, I can get into color.
Sure. Okay. So what do we're working with some dyes here.
Yep.
And where do you get the dye?
So we got aniline dye. It comes in a powdered form, and then I mix it myself. That gives me the freedom to make whatever color I want, as deep as I want. I can water it down if I need to.
Yeah. The artistic part of the guitar, because this is a different element, right? You can build the guitar to the exact specifications you want, but this kind of uniqueness to it, was this something you always wanted to do, the coloring, the design of the actual look of the guitar?
So when I got into this, I was really drawn to the natural oil finishes, like just walnut, nice dark woods. Don't really need to do anything to it.
Yeah.
The colors is new to me, and it's getting really exciting.
Yeah, why so?
I'm learning more, and
So you were never really an art guy then, eh?
not so much, no. But this is the playful part of it.
Yeah.
Right, and you know, building guitars is one thing. Finishing them is a whole nother thing. Guys dedicate their whole lives to just finishing, whereas guys will dedicate their whole lives to just building. They're two very expertise.
And you're doing them
areas.
both.
Trying.
You're trying to do them both.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, man. It's been great hanging out with you this morning. Where can people find you? How can people get involved? How can they get a Contriver guitar?
So you can find me at contriverguitars.com, or on Instagram, Facebook at Contriver Guitars, or you can come see me at Supercrawl this year.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Supercrawl. You're going to want to rock out at Supercrawl with one of your guitars. Brett, really appreciate it. Shake your hand, but you got dye all over it. So we've seen the steps from the very beginning to very end. We started with some music, so let's finish with some music. I'll shake your hand anyway. Brett, thanks for doing this. Appreciate it. And we're rocking out here on CHCH Morning Live.